All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope y'all having a good day so far. So I had a super thanks sent to me by Wolf to check out this video here. This one is from Hoops Central Throwback, the victims of Michael Jordan. And this should be a fun one. Actually, I saw this one pop up on my feed and I wanted to watch it. So really cool. I get to react to this one with you guys because, I mean, the victim list of Michael Jordan, it's so deep that honestly the modern lore has become that, you know, all of his competition sucked. You know what I mean? Like, that's the new narrative because Jordan kicked their ass. So that's how bad it was. That's how bad he crushed everybody in the 90s. It's now being remembered that, like, yeah, there was nobody good, which we all know, those of us who know, that is completely untrue. There was a buttload worth of great talent in the 90s and the 80s, but yeah, they all got overshadowed by Michael Jordan because Jordan, I mean, 6 championships in 10 years during that era. He's all everyone really talks about during that time. So this should be a very interesting video. Anyways, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. And let's get to this, guys. I'm linking the original video down below in the description like always. You also see a list of, channel members. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys. Leave the video a like, all that good stuff. Hit that hype if you got any. I'd appreciate it. And let's do it.
Michael Jordan beat opponents. Sure, everyone knows that. But to be honest, that's underselling it by about 1,000% because he erased people. He shattered confidence.
Yeah.
He ground legacies into pulp.
Yeah.
He turned all-stars into footnotes and contenders into cautionary tales. And sometimes they didn't even do anything to deserve it.
It became personal with me.
One of the most famous...
I mean, let's be real. It's sports. They were just in the way.
Jordan trash talk stories ever told, repeated millions of times online, probably never happened. But the fact that people believe it tells you everything about the myth he became. There's a rookie who made one harmless comment in 1994, and 4 years later, Jordan used it as fuel for one of the most iconic shots in basketball history. There's even a player whose career unraveled, not because of anything Jordan did on the court, but because the basketball gods seemed to punish him for what he said about him. This isn't a highlight reel. This is what happened to the people who got in Michael Jordan's way and what it cost them. Everyone remembers the 6 championships, the 5 MVPs. No one talks about the wreckage. Today, we're telling their side.
Cool intro. Oh, nice touch with the fire.
Jordan, open. He did it again.
Yeah, he did it again.
Greatest player of all time.
Yes, he really is.
Before Jordan became the villain in everyone else's story, he was the one getting bullied. The Detroit Pistons eliminated him 3 straight years, 1988, 1989, 1990, and they weren't gentle about it. The Jordan rules were designed to exhaust him physically and mentally. Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, John Sally, every drive was a collision, every series felt personal. Then, in 1991, everything flipped. The Bulls swept Detroit in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Pistons walked off without shaking hands. Jordan never forgot that moment, and he never forgave it. Many still believe that resentment played a role in Isaiah Thomas being left off the 1992 Dream Team. But here's the bigger truth. The Pistons didn't lose to Jordan, they created him. Every name on this list exists because Detroit taught him what losing felt like, and he decided no one would ever make him feel that way again.
Well put. Well put.
The 1989 Cavaliers were legit contenders, 57-25 in the regular season, and they swept Chicago in their regular season matchups. In a best-of-5 first-round
I forgot they swept them in the regular season. Damn.
series, Cleveland believed this was the moment they ended the Jordan problem. Game 4 nearly did. Jordan missed a potential game-sealing free throw. Chicago lost in overtime. He admitted later it was one of the lowest moments of his career. He felt exposed, vulnerable. Then came Game 5. 3 seconds left, Bulls down 1. Jordan had already hit a jumper to take the lead, only for Craig Elo to answer with a quick basket.
Way to cover all of it, yeah, because Jordan had to hit 2 clutch shots here to get this done.
Coming out of the timeout, Elo reportedly tried to get inside Jordan's head. He looked at him and said, "Mr. Jordan, I can't let you score." We can probably forgive Craig for not knowing any better.
Yeah, 89. I mean, you probably should have, but yeah, just don't piss the guy off.
According to Sports Illustrated, Jack McCullum, Jordan leaned toward teammate Craig Hodges before the play and whispered, "I'm going to make it." Cleveland's defensive setup didn't help. Coach Lenny Wilkins chose not to guard the inbounder. Instead, the Cavs tried to trap Jordan with Larry Nance and Elo. It didn't matter. Jordan broke free of Nance, received the pass, dribbled left, rose from 18 feet, and in midair...
Guys, there's nothing wrong with the defense. The defense was great. This is just, I mean, watch it again. Look how much work this took.
The Cavs tried to trap Jordan with Larry Nance and Elo.
Look at Jordan put into work.
Jordan broke free of Nance, received the pass, dribbled left.
Look at this.
Rose from 18 feet.
How much more contested do you want this to be? He's there. Jordan just did his thing, dude.
In midair, seemed to hang just long enough for Elo to fly past him. He later admitted he didn't even see the ball go in. But from the crowd reaction, silence, he knew.
That's crazy.
Gets the ball from Hugh Evans. He looks. He gives to Jordan. Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air.
Then came the explosion, the fist pump, the shout, "It's over." 44 points, series done. Craig Elo became immortal. Just not the way he would have preferred. Jordan said it felt like justice.
He's a good sport about it, though. I saw him on a podcast about a year ago, and he was like, it's cool to be part of history like this.
Cleveland had mocked him, booed him, waved goodbye before the series was finished. He remembered. He always remembered.
The end of show
After
91.
sweeping Detroit, Jordan finally reached the NBA Finals, and he wanted his first ring while the legends were still standing. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, the giants of the 80s. To Jordan, this was the moment he'd been working toward his entire career. Not a finals appearance, but a showdown with Magic Johnson. The Lakers were the gold standard of the 80s. If a new decade was beginning, you made your claim at the top by taking down the best.
Yep.
Game 1 didn't go his way. The Lakers stole home court when Sam Perkins buried late 3. Chicago had waited years for this moment and immediately got punched. Game 2 changed everything.
It's also why the handoff from the 98 Bulls to eventually the Dynasty Lakers, it always felt a little weird because, you know, like Jordan gets so upset, and I totally understand that he didn't get a chance to get dethroned. He just wanted to defend his title until someone beated him. You know, and it could have ended up that way with Kobe and Shaq taking down the old Bulls eventually, and then it's time to move on and pass the torch. But it just didn't get to happen naturally like it did here.
In the fourth quarter, the Bulls hit 13 straight baskets. The run blew the game open, turning tension into domination. It ended with the play that defined the series. Jordan attacked the rim, switching the ball from right hand to left midair, finishing like gravity was optional.
An spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
That's
13 unanswered by MJ, right?
Aaron Scott said the Bulls were showboating. Jordan heard that later and said, "We never thought we could lose after that." Chicago won Game 2 by 21, 107-86. They didn't lose again. Bulls in 5. Jordan averaged 31.2 points, 11.4 assists, 6.6 rebounds.
This is it. This is where it's at.
Average 31.2 points.
That's cool.
11.
That's where it's at. That's how you know he was dethroning Magic Johnson, right there in the finals.
0.4 assists, 6.6 rebounds, nearly 3 steals, and over a block per game.
1.4
He won his
blocks.
first championship and buried Showtime in the process. The 80s were officially over, and there was a new sheriff in town.
Yep.
And he wasn't done with the Lakers. November 1992, Jordan learned Scott wouldn't be playing due to an ankle sprain. He tracked down Byron before tip-off and asked who was guarding him. Scott said, "Anthony Peeler." Jordan's response, 50.
What's up, MJ? He said, "Man, I hear that you're not playing tonight." I said, "No, I sprained my ankle." He said, "Who's guarding me?" I said, "Anthony Peeler." He said, 50.
Scott laughed telling the story. He went straight to Peeler and warned him.
So I told Anthony Peeler, "Listen, MJ, he's probably going to go for about 50 tonight on you. So just don't piss him off. You know, just be cool." He ended up with 54.
Damn,
Scott
man.
understood something most defenders eventually learned. Trash talk was gasoline. Anger was oxygen. And if you lit the match, you paid for it.
Yeah.
In the next 6 games against Peeler, MJ went 36, 20, 17, 22, 28, and 41. Sometimes he needed motivation, sometimes he invented it, and sometimes he simply chose you.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yep, this one's not even Clyde's fault. It's because people were comparing Clyde to Jordan. He got pissed. He got disrespected. He's crazy.
By 1992, the whispers shifted. Was the first title a one-year peak? Could Jordan anchor a dynasty? Or would the league adjust and bring him back to earth? Waiting in the finals was Clyde Drexler, the man the media called the other Michael Jordan. And Portland was no fluke. The Blazers had gone 57-25 and stormed through the West, beating the Lakers, Suns, and a tough Jazz team led by Stockton and Malone. This was a legit contender. Jordan later admitted,
I wanted people to know the difference between me and Clyde.
Yeah.
It was always a comparison.
Yes.
And I didn't want it to be a comparison. I wanted it to be totally different.
Yeah.
I wanted people.
To be fair, I say we because it was all of us, but yeah, I used to do it too. I used to compare him and Clyde, him and Dominique, and then it was really after '92 when Jordan won his second title, while Clyde hasn't won one and Dominique hadn't won one. That's really when it was just like, no, Jordan's different. Jordan's different.
You'll see that on the highest stage.
So it worked.
he went further.
Clyde wasn't a threat. You know, I'm not saying he wasn't a threat, but me being compared to him, I took offense to that.
And that's all the motivation he needed. We don't even know if Drexler said anything personally.
He did.
Probably didn't. Media talk
It was
enough.
it was the media. Jordan made it pretty clear. People were comparing the two, and that was it. That was enough to take it personal for the guy.
That's who Jordan wanted to silence. Game 1, Jordan drilled 6 3-pointers in the first half, a finals record. He wasn't known as a three-point sniper.
No, but that one's Rick Adelman's fault.
That's what made it louder. By the 4th 3, Chicago's stadium was buzzing. By the 5th, it was shaking. The 6th came with Cliff Robinson closing out. Jordan rose, swish. Instead of celebrating, he turned toward the broadcast table and shook his head, almost in disbelief.
Yeah.
Then came the shrug. Palms up towards Magic Johnson on NBC, as if to say, what do you want me to do?
Here's Jordan for three.
It's also because he told Magic the night before they were playing poker, and he told him, like, I'm going to go out there and shut everybody up about these comparisons. So, like, Magic knew something crazy is about to happen. Maybe he didn't know this was about to happen. Jordan lighting up threes in the first quarter. But, yeah, that's why he looked over at Magic like, shoot, man, he actually impressed himself here. I don't know. I'm on freaking fire.
Michael indicating he can't believe it.
And just let us know that, hey, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good. It's my game.
Yeah,
He finished
Magic.
the half with 35 points, a finals record, and Chicago led 66-51 at the break. By the end of the third quarter, it was 104-68.
The charging
Final
Bulls.
score, 122-89. With 2 points off the most lopsided finals game ever at the time,
Wow.
the MJ Drexler comparison died in Chicago.
Oh, I was having fun. All right.
The 1993 Bulls weren't as dominant. They finished second in the East, third overall.
Yeah, they were tired, man. It's their third championship in a row they're going for. And also their two top dogs, Scotty and MJ. They spent their offseason in Barcelona playing for USA, winning a gold medal for the country. So, yeah, they were freaking tired.
Sports Illustrated predicted a Knicks Suns finals. Chicago looked vulnerable. But vulnerable and finished are not the same thing. Jordan came into the season heavier, stronger, more deliberate. Less flair, more calculation. He averaged 32.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, 5.5 assists, finished second in both Defensive Player of the Year and third in MVP voting.
Wow, Hakeem. Hakeem was number 2 in votes. Awesome. Okay. Patrick Ewing right below him and Dominique. Man, what a cool top 5 right there, man. What a cool era.
Losing the award to Barkley after Phoenix went 62-20.
Yep.
This was supposed to be Barkley's year. He had the MVP, led the league's best team, and he and Jordan weren't enemies.
Yeah, and he was coming off the Olympics, where I always have to say it because I watched it. I watched it live, and I've seen it multiple times since then. In my opinion, if there was an MVP for the Olympics back then, it would have been Charles Barkley. He was so hungry. You know, everyone else did their jobs and did it well. But Barkley was out there trying to make it was like he was trying to make a name for himself all over again, and it worked. So he came off of that confidence onto the Suns, new team, new environment, and man, he had everything on the up and up for him at this point.
They were friends, dream team teammates, card-playing partners, golf buddies. But friendship didn't stop Jordan from turning it competitive. In the finals, Jordan averaged an NBA record 41 points per game across 6 games.
Yep.
Barkley played great. Numbers that would dominate almost any other series, but it didn't matter. In the clinching
Any other opponent we would have won.
Game 6, Chicago rallied from a fourth quarter deficit. Jordan scored 9 straight points to steady them before John Paxson hit the championship-winning 3 with 3.9 seconds left. Three-peat complete.
Yeah.
Barkley later said,
Now, the actual article in the Phoenix Gazette was three-peat, so sweet, 4 Bulls. I still have the newspaper.
I think God is a basketball player and he plays for the Chicago Bulls. He never reached the finals again. But Barkley wasn't even the deepest layer of Jordan's 1993 motivation.
Dan Marley?
That might have been Dan Marley.
Hey, someone's going to talk about the thing that I always bring up, and no one ever seems to know the story. Let's do it.
Marley was coming off one of the best seasons of his career. 16.9 points, 4.7 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.7 steals, All-Star, 5th in Defensive Player of the Year voting, and Bulls GM Jerry Krause liked him. To MJ, that was enough.
And just because Krause liked him was enough for me. You think he's a great defensive player?
There it is, yeah.
I'm going to show you that he's not.
It's so funny because nowadays we're in the era of people are like, oh yeah, let's team up with all the best players, and MJ is a completely different guy. It's like, oh, you want him on our team? You think he'll help us defensively? Let me destroy him. It's a freaking psycho, man.
Didn't even know he'd been targeted until watching The Last Dance decades later. During the series, Phoenix threw everyone at Jordan. Marley, Kevin Johnson, Richard Dumas, Danny Ainge.
Yeah, good team.
Constant switches, different looks. Nothing worked.
Hell of a team.
Marley said when Jordan guarded him, it felt suffocating.
To be honest with you, if Scotty was on me, I was like, thank God. Anybody's reprieve from Jordan. I'm telling you, he was the best. Whatever he did, he was the best. If he wanted to guard you and not let you score or touch the ball, you weren't touching the ball.
Wow, Jordan, that's a rare one to hear. So Thunder Dan is saying that Jordan was actually the better defender. Wow.
Manufactured slights. From media comparisons, from MVP votes, from his own general manager praising an opponent.
And people forget Thunder Dan, man. Thunder Dan was an all-star. Thunder Dan was an Olympian multiple times. I think he did it on his way in. No, I'm not sure now. He was definitely an Olympian. I think in 1996 he might have been on the second Dream Team. Anyways. The guy was legit, but he gets completely forgotten, just like Kevin Johnson. It's sad for me to see. But if they would have won a championship right there in 93, I think people would still remember the name Dan Marley and Kevin Johnson and Tom Chambers.
If he couldn't find motivation, he invented it. The stories up to this point were responses to real challenges, real rivalries, real comparisons. Magic, Clyde, Barkley. There was always something tangible, an MVP vote, a media narrative, a respected opponent. But the truly unhinged part of Jordan's legacy shows up when there was no slight at all. March 1993, LeBradford Smith, averaging 9.3 points that season, drops 37 on Chicago. 15 for 20 from the field, efficient, confident. The Bulls still won, 104-99, but Jordan wasn't happy.
Smith, 37 points.
But they lost.
Good game, Mike.
They didn't. But that someone like Smith had taken it to them, in Chicago, on his floor. After the game, Jordan told teammates Smith had walked past him and said, "Nice game, Mike." That detail stuck. Next night in Washington, Jordan hit his first 8 shots, finished with 47 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals in 31 minutes. Chicago won 126-101. Surgical, cold, and personal.
Nice game, LeBradford.
Except, years later, Jordan admitted LeBradford Smith never said a word. No nice game, Mike. No trash talk. No disrespect. He made it up.
That's crazy.
He invented the slight because he needed fuel. This is where Jordan was incredibly competitive, stops being enough. He didn't respond to motivation. He created it from thin air, or boredom, or irritation that someone had a good night against him. And once you understand that, every story that follows lands differently, because now you know Even when no one provoked him, he'd create the provocation himself. For someone wired like that, building a trail of bodies almost feels inevitable.
This is a cool video.
1987 preseason.
Oh, no.
Rookie Reggie Miller outscored Jordan in the first half of an exhibition game. His teammate, Chuck Person, never exactly subtle, started hyping him up from the bench.
Dude, Reggie likes telling his story so much, I'm 99% sure he did it in his Hall of Fame speech. It's been a while since I watched it, but I'm pretty sure he said it there.
Pointing out that this was supposed to be the great Michael Jordan, and here was the rookie taking it to him. At halftime, Reggie caught up to Jordan.
You're Michael Jordan?
It's this preseason, by the way, but he was a young, gung-ho rookie.
The guy that walks on water, you know?
He poked the myth, poked the aura, poked Air Jordan. Jordan didn't yell, didn't shove him, he just looked at him. By Miller's own telling, Jordan outscored him 40-2 in the second half.
So at half, I have 10 and he has 4 points, right? And I'm doing all this talking. He's like, okay. Into the game in the second half, he ended up with 44 and I ended up with 12. And as he's walking off, he's like, be sure and be careful. You never talk to Black Jesus. Like,
calm, controlled, fun.
That's so funny.
November 1991, Mutombo told Jordan, you're lucky to be able to dunk on many people, but you're not going to get me. At the free throw line.
When did he say that? Hold up.
November 1991.
1991 he said that, huh? Okay. All right. I'll save my input until later. I want to see where this goes.
Mutombo told Jordan, you're lucky to be able to dunk on many people, but you're not going to get me. At the free throw line, late in the game, Jordan turned to the rookie center.
I think he's talking to...
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the NBA moment.
7 for 7 from the line that night. Performance art.
I thought he was going to go into later on. This was during Jordan's second three-peat. And in an all-star game, Dikembe starts, just jabbering with him. It was like, you never dunked on me. You never dunked on me. And all the other centers, like Patrick Ewing, was like, no way. He never dunked on you. He was like, nope, never. Next game they played against each other, Jordan dunks on his head. But the irony is I found out he had dunked on Mutombo years prior to that, but they both just forgot about it. And to be fair to Mutombo, he's also blocked Jordan. It's, great stuff, man.
McRae joined the Bulls
Rest
in
in peace,
1992
Mutombo.
as a 9-year veteran chasing a ring. He accepted a bench role. What he didn't realize was that he was stepping into Jordan's practice environment. In scrimmages, Jordan screamed in his face, "You're a loser. You've always been a loser."
Who's this?
Relentless, personal, repeated. A teammate told Sports Illustrated, he has practically ruined Rodney McRae for us. McRae won a ring that year. It was also his last season. Jordan's explanation? If he couldn't handle him in practice, how would he handle playoff pressure?
I get it.
Before a first-round
Weber,
playoff
the
game,
Bullets.
Weber and the Bullets stepped off the bus, suit on, game face activated, and saw Jordan leaning against his Ferrari, smoking a cigar before tip-off. That's aura. That's psychological warfare without saying a word.
He's like, Juwan, who's guarding me tonight? And Calbert Chaney was behind us, and we both looked and did like that, and that was the one time I cringed about how I left a teammate hanging.
Jordan dropped 55, 22 for 35 from the field, 20 of Chicago's 23 fourth quarter points.
Damn, man.
The cigar wasn't arrogance. It was a warning.
Yeah. He's smoking the celebratory cigar before the game starts. That is psychological warfare. Oh, poor OJ Mayo.
Jordan is 43 years old at his own camp.
Mommy, mama. That's all I can think of from watching the all the clips from this whole thing. Mommy, mama. It's so taunting, dude.
High school phenom OJ Mayo starts talking trash, saying Jordan can't guard him, saying he's too old. Jordan stops everything, sends the campers out, closes the gym, then goes to work.
No cameras.
In front of my camp, he starts his thing about, you can't guard me, you can't do this. I got my campers here, so I can't really go where I want to go because of my camp. So I stop the camp, send the kids to bed. We go back to playing. And he starts his whole thing, that you can't guard me, you can't do this. So from this point on, it's a lesson. And from that point on, it was a lesson. He never won a game. I posted him up. I did everything. If I can ever show you that film, and if you can ever ask him that, ask him about the thing that happened at my camp.
Yeah, Bobby. I don't know why. This is the funniest thing in the world to me. Oh! That's what you get.
Still protecting the throne, even from a teenager.
Hey, man, you talk trash against the greatest. Things happen.
If there's a complete victim arc on this list, it belongs to Nick Anderson.
Okay, this one makes me sad because Nick Anderson never came back from this confidence-wise. And I don't know if it jumbles together or if it just happened to be those free throws that he misses and he never really recovered mentally from this. But it was sad to see that, like, okay, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Okay, it was right after this, and it was the NBA Finals where he lost his confidence. But man, it's like shortly after this whole thing, Jordan, 45 ain't 23, and then in the final, like he loses all of his confidence and he never gets it back from some blown free throws. And it's sad. I really like Nick Anderson. I like this whole team actually a lot during this era.
It has everything. The upset, the quote, the revenge, and the collapse. And it directly fuels the greatest regular season in NBA history. 1995 Eastern Conference semifinals. Jordan is back from baseball wearing number 45. He's not fully himself yet. The rhythm isn't all the way there. Game 1 against the Orlando Magic, closing seconds.
And Jordan spinning his way against Anderson.
Yep, good pick. Great fast break.
6 and 2/10 seconds to go.
Afterward, Anderson tells the media.
After the game, Nick Anderson said, he was like 45, isn't 23. Oh, man.
Yeah, horse nose.
Jordan switched back to number 23 in Game 2 and dropped 38 in the win. But the Bulls lost the series in 6, eliminated on their home floor. That part gets forgotten. What doesn't get forgotten is what happens next. In the locker room after elimination, Jordan turned to Ron Harper. We're going to start working out. Harper asked when. Tomorrow. They want to see number 23. I'm going to give them number 23. Then the 95-96 season happened.
You mean the revenge tour?
72-10, regular season MVP, finals MVP, 4th championship. Fuel sourced directly from Orlando. And Anderson, weeks after that series, in the 95 finals against Houston, he stepped to the line with a chance to seal
Here
Game 1.
it is.
He couldn't handle it.
Great video. They're covering everything.
Themselves in 4th quarters. Today, though, Orlando
This
12
hurts.
of 15 at the line. And Anderson
And then he gets another opportunity, you guys.
on both.
All right, get him back on the line. So he missed 2.
Especially after the trade.
This is where it hurts. As a competitor, like, this hurts to see because this can really just destroy years of building confidence and self-esteem. So he missed 2, got the rebound.
We're going to do it by committee.
Missed 3.
That's in effect, I believe, yes.
Missed 4.
And he misses.
4 straight. And he never recovered.
4 straight.
4 straight missed free throws. Houston hit a 3, forced overtime, won the game, then swept the series. Anderson's free throw percentage plummeted from 70.4 to 40.4% over the next 2 seasons. He never shot above 64% from the line again. The collapse had nothing to do with Jordan, but it almost felt cosmic. As if the basketball gods punished Nick. And in the 1996 Eastern Conference Finals, Jordan made it direct, sweeping Anderson and Orlando, debt paid.
Okay, and the only thing I can add to that is that the final game of that sweep, Jordan had 45 and intentionally missed his final free throw in order to lock in that 45 as a symbol, as a statement. 45 ain't 23. Okay, 23 got 45.
Before the series, George Karl walked past Jordan at a restaurant in Chicago. No hello, no nod, nothing. Karl had Brendan Malone on staff, Someone who'd seen firsthand in Detroit how Jordan weaponized slights. The advice? Don't give him anything. Stay neutral. But with Jordan, neutrality didn't exist. In his mind, that was disrespect. Kyle later admitted, I thought I was being a macho myself. Michael Jordan never shook my hand and didn't recognize me the whole series until we lost. Even if Kyle had stopped to talk, Jordan probably would have found something else. If he wanted a reason, he'd create one.
Yeah, for sure.
Kyle initially kept Payton off Jordan. A baffling decision given Payton was Defensive Player of the Year. Chicago went 3-0 before Kyle finally assigned Payton full-time in Game 4. And that's when the matchup everyone expected actually begun. Payton picked him up full court, fought him for every catch, made every possession physical. Seattle won Game 4, then Game 5. Payton even said, Jordan is not like he used to be. When he gets tired, he doesn't take as many shots. Game 6 in Chicago ended that. Jordan shot 5 for 19 from the field, not efficient, but he went 11 for 12 at the line. Finished with 22 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Bulls win by 12, 4th title. In The Last Dance, Jordan dismissed the whole debate.
It was a difference and beating him down a little bit.
The glove. I had no problem with the glove.
And then he goes right into talking about Father's Day and his dad. And that's why I've not always, but since I watched The Last Dance, my head says, like, because of Jordan's own words, he doesn't even care to talk about the defense. He just wants to talk about his dad at this moment. And then, he ends up winning the championship on Father's Day. And I asked the question, and I'll never get the answer. And some of you agree with me and some of you guys disagree with me, and we'll never know the actual answer. But did he lose a couple games on purpose so he could win on Father's Day, or what? Like, that laughter, that complete dismissal of Gary Payton, and just to go right into the Father's Day stuff, I don't know, man. It always has me wondering now. It's Michael Jordan after all. Like, this guy's, he's just different. He's crazy.
When someone genuinely made things harder for him, he wouldn't give them credit. In his story, nobody shifted the series. They just delayed the inevitable.
The flu game.
In 96-97, Karl Malone edged Jordan for MVP by 29 votes.
Yep, this is you can have that one. I'm going to go get this one regarding the finals MVP.
Closest margin ever at the time. Jordan had the wins, the scoring title, the hardware from the year before. But voter fatigue is real. Publicly, he shrugged it off. Privately, fuel. The Bulls rolled through the Eastern Conference bracket like the entire team took that snub personally. And in proper Hollywood fashion, they met the Jazz in the finals. Game 1, Malone bricked clutch free throws after Pippen's legendary trash talk. The mailman don't deliver on Sundays. And Jordan hit the game-winning buzzer beater.
Defense forced the fadeaway jumper. Don't foul. Jazz over the foul limit. We're down to 5. Jordan putting moves on Russell. We're down to 2. Now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes!
Games 3 and 4
so funny because the next buzzer beater he's going to hit on him, he's going to go right.
Utah, series tied. And Utah had the advantage of home cooking.
Look at the score, you guys. 78-73. This is why if you were averaging 30 points a game at this time, wow. Wow, what a feat that is.
Literally. A late-night pizza in Salt Lake City nearly derailed Chicago in Game 5. Instead, it gave us the flu game, one of the greatest performances in finals history. Jordan could barely stand, barely talk. No verbal fireworks this time, but what he did on the court became legendary. 38 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. One absolutely humongous win. In Game 6, tied at 86 with 28 seconds left, Phil Jackson drew up a play for Mike. In the huddle, Jordan looked at Steve Kerr and told him to be ready. Remember McRae? He folded under Jordan's pressure in practice. Kerr didn't. Kerr took Jordan's punches, verbal and physical, and showed him he wasn't going to back down.
So he was ready for
so
the
when
moment.
Stockton doubled, Jordan kicked it out. Kerr cashed it with 5 seconds left. Pippen steal and Kukoc's transition dunk sealed it. 5th championship.
Bang!
One player fizzled out, and MJ moved on from him. The others stood tall, and Jordan trusted him in a moment where he rarely trusted anyone but himself.
Yep, you earned your wings, man.
Trash talk and the testing, it was evaluation. That's how Jordan separated victims from predators, the ones he'd take with him on the hunt. Jordan walked away with his 5th finals MVP, 32.3 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists a night. The regular season MVP, Malone could keep it. Jordan had the only trophy that ever mattered.
All right, yep.
But
now it's time to
MJ's
go
ultimate
right.
stake in Utah's heart came later, and it had been a long time in the works, all the way back to 1994. Why'd you quit? You know I could guard you. If I ever see you in a pair of shorts. That's what Jazz rookie Brian Russell told MJ when Jordan was still playing baseball. With Jordan, time didn't dull anything. If you said it in 1994, he'd collect on it later. And if the stage got bigger, even better. He'd already hit one game winner over Russell in Game 1 of the 97 finals, but in 1998, he had something else in store entirely. June 14, 1998, Game 6, 41.9 seconds left, Utah 86, Chicago 83. Jordan drove past Russell, laid it in. Utah 86, Chicago 85. Then on Utah's possession, Stockton crossed half court calmly, letting the clock drip. He entered it to Malone on the block, but Jordan was already in motion.
Help.
He'd seen this action countless times, knew Malone's tendencies, knew how he liked to gather. Jordan slid behind him.
Phil Jackson also called this out to Jordan and said they're going to, they knew what's going to happen. Stockton go into the post to Malone, and if you can get Malone off guard without seeing you coming over on the weak side, smack.
Shadow, clean strip, no whistle, ball in his hands, 20 seconds left. He brought it up himself, calm, scanning. Utah didn't double. Steve Kerr waited in the corner. The same safety valve from 97 if Stockton committed. Kukoc space left, Rodman cut through, dragging a defender with him. That left Jordan alone, one-on-one. He let the clock burn, 15, 10, 8. A sharp jab right, Russell reacted, Jordan drove hard, then stopped on a dime. Russell's momentum carried him the other way, helped by the slightest brush from Jordan. MJ rose, balanced, squared, controlled, clean release, perfect follow through. The ball
also
hung in
Phil Jackson. Because, he was exhausted. The shots were coming in a little bit short, which means that in order to counteract that, you either need more legs, which you don't have more legs at this point. It's the end of the season, or you really focus on that follow through. And Phil Jackson told him, get that follow through going again, just like you're training again, basically. And
one frozen frame of basketball immortality. That night, Jordan made sure the answer was unmistakable. 6th title, era closed.
Crazy. The myth. He did not call him a midget.
Jordan's trash talk had become NBA mythology. Stories that grew legs on their own. Because when a competitor is that ruthless, every missed shot, every slump, every broken confidence somehow traces back to him. That's how powerful the aura became. The legends about his smack talk started taking on life of their own. 1995 playoffs. Charlotte needed one bucket to stay alive. The ball finds Muggsy Bogues, and guarding him, Michael Jordan. The story goes that on that key possession, Jordan sagged off, gave Bogues space, then barked, "Shoot it, you f***ing midget." Bogues took the shot.
Now,
missed.
I'm always going to be on the side that doesn't believe this, because Muggsy himself said it's not true. He didn't say anything like that, and said Jordan never said anything like that about, he never called him a midget, basically. But I could totally see him being like shoot it, bitch, or shoot it, motherfucker, or something like that. That's something that MJ would say, just to get in your head right before the moment. But Muggsy said he didn't get called a midget. I believe Muggsy.
Bulls win 85-84. The legend says it ruined Bogues. After 3 straight seasons averaging double figures, he averaged 5.9 the rest of his career. But when asked, Bogues shut it down.
MJ supposed to have called me a midget, shoot the ball midget, and I shot the ball, and I supposedly had missed, and that supposedly had an effect on the rest of my career. That's one of the craziest asinine stories that you can hear. I mean, think about all the stuff that I've been hearing all my life. And here it is, I'm 10 years in my career already, and somebody says something, and it's going to affect my career. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, I'm glad. Right. By the way, you guys, I can't tell you how accurate this video is. I'm really impressed. Go check out the link. It's down below in the description if you want to subscribe to the channel. This is a fantastic video. Every single time I think I'm adding context, they're following through with it. And I'm not used to that, because most of these types of video, they only cover parts of the stories and leave out other parts. This video is really doing it. They did all the research. Very appreciated. Now, with Muggsy, real quick, before we finish this off, I could see the impact of him missing an important shot like that possibly affecting his confidence moving forward. But it's good to know it wasn't like Jordan who just killed his confidence by calling him a name that, unfortunately, back in the 90s and the 80s, he probably heard that he was probably called that a gazillion times. So I wouldn't imagine that would even get under his skin because things were different back then. You know, there's no way he would have made the NBA and been so successful if the first time someone called him a midget, he crumbled. You know what I mean? No way. Not a guy like him. That guy's tough as nails.
The video doesn't even clearly support the story, and the timeline matters. Bogues' decline coincided with age and a serious knee injury that sidelined him for almost an entire season. He even bounced back in '97 at age 32 with a solid year before Father Time did what Father Time does. It wasn't mystical. It wasn't psychological sabotage. It was age.
Yeah, and a guy of his height, in order to... He was successful in the NBA because of two things. Mainly the first one, speed. You could not keep up with him. But if you have injured legs, you've slowed down, your main advantage is now gone because it's not height. You can't shoot over people. The other thing is strength. And he still had his strength, but without his speed, yeah, it's hard for him to score points.
And mileage on the smallest guy in a big man's league. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter that the story might not be true. That's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
Jordan's reputation was so terrifying that people believed he could end a career with a single sentence. The myth is the legacy.
Yeah.
In 2009, Michael Jordan stood at the podium at the Basketball Hall of Fame. 6 rings, 5 MVPs, the greatest to ever do it. And instead of saying thank you, he spent his speech going down a list, name by name, slide by slide.
Yeah, his whole theme of this entire thing was what added extra logs or extra fuel to the fire throughout his career.
Brian Russell, Jerry Krause, his high school coach, every single person who ever doubted him. He remembered all of it.
Leroy Smith was a guy, when I got cut, he made the team on the varsity team, and he's here tonight. I wanted to prove not just to Leroy Smith, not just to myself, but to the coach who actually picked Leroy over me. I wanted to make sure you understood you made a mistake, dude. I'm at the center circle, and Brian Russell sitting next to me, and I look over to Brian. I said, you remember this conversation you made in 1994 about I think I can guard you, I can shut you down, I would love to play against you. Well, you about to get your chance. Ever since that day, he got his chance. Believe me, I relished on that point, and from this day forward, if I ever see him in shorts, I'm coming at him. And Jerry Krause is right there, and Jerry's not here. Obviously, I don't know who invited him. I didn't, but he said organization wins championships.
Wait a second. Say it again. It's been a while since I listened to this.
So I'm coming at him, and Jerry Krause is right there, and Jerry's not here. Obviously, I don't know who invited him. I didn't, but he said organization wins championships. I said I didn't see organization playing with the flu in Utah. I didn't see him playing with the bad ankle. Granted, I think organization put together teams, but at the end of the day, the teams got to go out and play.
Wait a second. So I listened to it twice. I'm not going to bother you guys a third time. Was Jerry Krause there? Was he there at this time? Because he said, I don't know who invited him. I didn't invite him. So was he at this Hall of Fame speech?
Single person who ever doubted him. He remembered all of it. Most athletes use that moment to be grateful. Jordan used it to remind everyone he never forgot a single thing. And if he's still naming names decades later, imagine what he was saying on the court. What's the coldest MJ moment you've ever heard? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy this kind of deep dive, hit the like and hype buttons, subscribe.
For sure. Yeah, for sure, guys. Go check out the channel. Hoop Central Throwback. Actually, I've done quite a few reactions from this channel recently, and they've all been great, and this is probably the best one. So highly recommend you go down there and give them a subscribe. Check out their other content. I'll be reacting to more. Throw me some suggestions, and then, react to some of those too. You know how it goes. Yeah, great video though. Like, there's barely anything to add context-wise to any of this stuff. And Jordan, man, after rewatching this and then like hearing those clips of his Hall of Fame speech and all that, like, it's it's impossible to believe for 1 second that he hears things that like Kevin Durant and LeBron James, laughing about Jordan, leaving basketball to go play baseball, like them having a good old chuckle about old MJ. There's no way in hell Jordan's not hearing this, and he's not thinking in some way, shape, or form, you're gonna get yours. Like he's gonna get you guys somehow, because Jordan is just that competitive. He hears everything and he remembers it forever. He doesn't forget, so he can't beat him on the court. I wonder what methods he's thinking in his head. Yeah, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, I'll get you guys. I'm just curious what it's going to be. Anyways, let me know in the comments section. Thank you very much for the suggestion on this video. Definitely glad I watched it. And a couple days from now, it's going to be the 23rd. So more Jordan stuff coming soon. And in the meantime, this is a super long reaction, you guys. So I'm going to skip out on the After Dark tonight, but I'll be back tomorrow in full force. And yeah, I had a good time, guys. Leave your comments down below. I'm sure you guys were doing what you always do, leaving them as the video goes along, which I love. I'll see you all in the comment section, and I appreciate you all watching along with me. All right, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and most importantly is to be water, my friends. Don't talk trash to MJ. It ain't gonna work out well.